In my previous video, I briefly mentioned and momentarily showed the initial basis for the unique central aesthetic of AONVAI, a school project from my 3D modeling class, and right now you are looking at the aforementioned piece. I have chosen to freeze the scene at this point in order to emphasize something to you. Look at the floor. Do you notice odd shadows? That is meant to be a display from the projector on the ceiling. Though you can never make it out in these camera angles, it is currently displaying this image. At the time that I was drawing up ideas for this video, I wanted the audience to see the projector display many images which would accompany a speech I had written in imitation of Andrew Ryan's opening monologue from BioShock. The images are all still saved on my old high school's drives, with all the dissident file names I gave them as a politically angry 14-year-old. These were images like the Great Pyramid of the capitalist system, which I labeled with the file name Free Market, an image of Guantanamo Bay's watchtowers overlooking its chain fences, which I labeled Hospitality, a picture of the detention camp's indefinite detainees, which I labeled Rehabilitation, and an old photograph of slaves shackled in line, which I labeled States' Rights. Now, as you are seeing, AONVAI's aesthetics take heavy influence from ancient Greece. But, notice how AONVAI's aesthetic is most centrally a fusion of ancient Grecian art and classical science fiction. The holographic projector, the futuristic lampposts marking the path, and the spaceship door all contribute to this ideal clash of the far past and our expected future in order to create something new. I suppose that if I were feeling particularly campy with my choice of words, I might call this aesthetic style marble punk, deriving the name from the likes of atom punk, steampunk, and cyberpunk. Back on the topic of classical science fiction, though, the speech I first wrote to accompany this animation actually opened with an homage to my favorite TV show ever, The Twilight Zone. The speech read as such: "Submitted for your approval, the case of America, not the nation, but the idea. The idea of states' rights, of free expression, free markets, and hospitality. The scholars said we were a republic, the media said a democracy, and the people said a nation, yet none of them said an idea. Not one of them considered that Americans are not America, that the life of the idea might outweigh the life of her citizens. I, however, did. So I created my own America. I created Eleftheria. The nation of Eleftheria, however, no longer exists, at least not by that name. The writing of this speech was simply the result of the incredible anger which hung over me as a techie back when the Edward Snowden leak was a much more recent memory. At the time that I completed this outdoor scene for my school project, I was happy to have made something rather unique, but then I nonchalantly moved on to whatever my class's next assignment was. It was not until much later in the year that I thought I could take this aesthetic and make an entire universe out of it, a universe which I will be going into more detail on in my next video.